Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good evening to my friends in London and the UK. I'm really looking forward to our show today because it's all about teens, and I've been through the teens already, and it's over, and thank God it is. But so many of you have teens at home, and you just don't know what to do with them because there's a complete disconnect. Have you noticed that? It's so bizarre because your bundle of joy has turned into somebody entirely different. And we know that they have growing pains and they're trying to become the person that they are, but they get into so much trouble. Have you noticed that? And we get disconnected. I don't know why that happens or why we have to go through that stage of their lives. I like to call them the terrible teens. And for me, they relate right back to the terrible twos because it's all about, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. You couldn't possibly know anything because it's my life. And they're not willing to learn. And it even happens in adult children. Have you noticed that? Where they don't pay attention to you either. You couldn't possibly know anything. So I have brought on America's teenologist today to help you relate to your teens in a way that they don't disconnect. They're still connected to you. And as you might have seen in what I posted, that suicide in teens is one of the biggest challenges that we have. It's one of the greatest statistics in deaths. And a lot of it is because they're disconnected from the people that they really love. So let me bring Dr. Beth Halbert on right now and get started sharing with you what you can do differently to save your teens. Dr. Beth, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dr. Shirlene Reeves. Woo woo! So glad to be here.
I'm so grateful that you took the time because I know you're such a busy person and I can't believe how much you have to do working with all these teens. You must have an unlimited amount of patience.
You know, I love them. I love their mamma jamma badass energy because I didn't get to do that. Guilt-free, shame-free.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
Yeah, and 99% of us didn't. And now we're trying to find our authentic self.
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm trying to actually help the kids not lose themselves. So, yeah, I love it. And I have a twist on it. I actually double dog dare the kids to tell me when I'm wrong. I double dog dare them to tell me no.
I
double dog.
What kind of a response do you get from that?
They love it. They love it. And 99% of the time, they don't tell me no.
Wow. So tell me something. I went through the teens, as I mentioned earlier, with my children. Tell me what it is or why they just suddenly turn against their parents. How does that work? And why does it happen?
Well, first of all, it was all your fault.
Oh, yeah, I got that. They told me so.
I know, right? That's because you're wearing the wrong outfit. It's because you're standing on the wrong leg. You know, so here's the deal. Here's the secret. They are trying to become not you. So the only way they can become their authentic self is to bounce against their god and goddess, their main man, their main woman. And that's why it's so painful with a mom and a daughter and a father and a son.
What about a mother and a son?
Those are usually better unless the mother and the son have a really tight a fixation for each other. So like the more connected you are, the more in love you are, the more tight you've been, the more ripping apart it feels. It's like my child has become an alien, you know, who has invaded my kid. And part of it is I've got to stop loving you unless you want me to live with you the rest of your life.
Okay.
And it's
that,
kind of like losing your love.
Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. So tell us, what do we do when they're lashing out and they're slamming out the door and they don't come home on time, and at 3 o'clock in the morning you hear sirens in the background when they call and they're drunk? What are you supposed to do about that?
So I would love to have the opportunity to help people not get to that point. It does not have to be that way. However, if you keep fighting against, and I call it like the super 7-year-old perfectionistic, micromanaging, I'm the boss, I own you, I brought you into this world, I can take you out of this world.
And sometimes you'd like to, right?
I know. And I'll tell you what, I got my money on the kids every time. Don't play chicken with a teenager, because they are willing to die to be right. Are you willing to let them die to be right?
Wow. No, absolutely not.
They will always win.
Yes,
they are willing.
They do always win. There's nothing you can say that's right. You could give them breakfast and tell them how much you love them, and they're still your enemy.
Yes. So you got to change the game in your own mind. So when parents come to me and they say, my kid is blah, 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 my kid's doing blah, 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 I say, congratulations. You have one of the next world leader kids. And I'm dead serious. Dead serious. I was talking with a mom recently this week, and I said, if I saw a train coming down the track heading right towards you and your daughter, would you want me to tell you about it?
Oh, yeah.
And she said, yes, please. And that's actually one of the tools I use for parents with their kids. Because how often do you see them about to run into a Mack truck, but they won't listen to you?
Yes, that's the frustration, I think. That's the bottom line frustration in what all parents experience.
So what if I, Dr. Shirlene, came into your life when your kiddo was in the middle of the crisis, and I said to you, well, you know what you need to do? Well, all you need to do is, well, you're doing it wrong. Well, I can't believe you're doing it that way. Just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. If you just listen to me, I can fix your kid. What's wrong with you, Dr. Shirlene? How well would that work?
Not well. Not well at all.
I'm dead. I'm out. Same thing with us, with our kids. So instead of tell, and if you tell, I must rebel.
I love it.
It's a rule. It is a rule. If you tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, it's almost like double dog daring me to do the opposite.
And I've even seen parent relationships do that with each other.
Oh, this whole inner teen concept goes from toddler teens. So I had one mom that called me recently, and she has a 6-month-old. And she said, I'm going to be calling you soon, because this little 6-month-old already she's crawling and she has her own little mind at 6 months. Yes.
The kids today are very different than the ones we raised. Very different. Because they're so angelic now. When they come in, and you're so fooled into thinking, oh, this just little bundle of energy. I'm so excited. And, I look at people and go, I'm sorry.
And then they open that trap.
Yep, exactly. So give us some tips on how we could talk to our kids so that we could begin communicating.
All right. So this is my specialty.
We're going to get the special syrup that goes on.
This is the special sauce. And I'm going to use an example of a junior high teacher who was in complete and total breakdown with her 2- and 3-year-old child.
Oh.
So she calls me in, and I say, how are you as a teenager? I mean, a teacher. She said, oh my God, I'm fantastic. My kids love me. And I said, okay, do that with them.
Okay.
And that was it. So let me give you an example. If I said, how are you different with the kids at school and your own kids? And it was just like the light bulb went off in her head. She was serious. She was controlling. She was significant. She was stressed. She had more dog in this fight. And the kids at school, she was like, she believed in them. She had fun. She was inspirational. But with our own kids, all of our own weaknesses, insecurities come out and get projected on our kids.
So they're mirroring us and what we've left behind inside that we don't know about, correct?
Yes, there are little precious angel teachers to just hold up that wall of shame right in front of our face. So if you hate whining, you're going to have a whiner.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
If you hate anger and rage, if you hate being embarrassed by society, they're going to be like, whatever it is that you have not fully embraced in yourself, they're doing it. One quick one, a family, a mother and a father in Oregon, and they were like, they made a difference in society. They believed in bringing everybody together, and their kid put a swastika on their roof and a burning cross in their front yard.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, whatever it is that you have not leaned into, they're going to let you find your sense of humor with it.
So what you're saying is, if you want to fix your teen, you have to fix yourself first.
Okay.
Is that right?
That's so close. That's so close. In a super 7-year-old language, yes, fix yourself. In inner teen language, you're not broke. You're not broke. They're not broke. Fall in love with the part of you that you have not fully embraced. And that's why I wrote this book, Embracing Defiance. Helping the child express their unique voice while keeping your sanity.
And does that work on your adult kids too?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
I need that book.
Yes. I had a single mom when this book came out. One of my clients, she bought 5. She read it for herself and she gave it out to everybody. And she said, "This book isn't for parents of teenagers. This is for everybody." I said, "I know, they made me pick a niche." And so, and I had a 90-year-old woman tell me one time, she said, "Can you help me find my inner teenager?" I said, "Absolutely." Yeah. So it is never too late to find the authentic you and fall madly in love with it.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, Dr. Beth. So go back to your example. So the kid's slamming the door and disappears for hours at a time, and you don't see him until the next morning. How do you approach that?
All right. Again, this is like the end of the movie. And if you call me at the end of the movie, get ready to pay big bucks.
Okay. Got that.
If you will get me before the end of the movie, you're never going to have the slamming doors. When they're 3 and they start to put their little suitcase together and say, "I'm leaving. You're not the boss of me." And they walk out the door with their little suitcase. That's when you want to embrace their defiance.
Okay. So what would you do?
You would say, "Oh man, you were so mad." So I had my niece lived with me for 3.5 years, from 3 to 6.5. And one time I walked in a room and she went, and, so most super 7-year-old moms would say, "You don't do that to me. That is disrespectful. That is not okay." Right? Typical. Right. You don't let him get away with murder. So instead I went back.
That's what I did.
Congratulations.
So I did something right.
So then she just like locks down. And I said, and so I softened, because that didn't throw her into laughter. It made her more angry. So I switched to a new tactic and I said, "You're really mad at me. She's like, I'm so mad. Just get out of here. And I said, do you want me just to hold you and let you just yell at me? Or do you want me to walk out and give you a few minutes? And she said, just stay in here. I said, okay. So giving her the choice to be mad and grumpy and mean and gross and negative and whiny, then those things, they pass.
Mm-hmm.
So an example with a little kiddo, I think she was 2 when we played. We were singing some of my songs, and one of them was feel those feelings and name them out so you don't act out. I always make up on somebody's head. And so one of them is feel that mad and stomp it out. So we're stomping and stomping. Feel that sad and snuggle your bear. She's like, wait, let me go get my bear. So she was having a blast with her mom, with me. We're dancing around, singing Time to Leave. And her mom's trying to get her in the car. And she's in full tilt meltdown.
Mm.
And so the little one starts screaming, my feet won't reach the ground. And the mom said, Dr. Beth, what do we do? And I said, wow, you guys are both so mad. I said, we had so much fun and it's so hard to end. So naming the feelings, acknowledging the feelings, getting everybody's frustration. And then I said, and then they both said, right, yeah. And then I said, I wonder what feeling is going to be next. And the little girl grabs her seatbelt, plops it in and says, happy, it's going to be happy.
I love it.
So this naming and acknowledging feelings, another little guy, 6 years old, had crayons, and you see the look when they're about to spew them all over the room.
Yeah.
So he was like, and before he could spew, I said, oh my gosh, you're so mad. And I had to meet his intensity.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, he just put the crayons up, put them down. He said, yes, I'm so mad. I said, so what are we going to do? Tell me more.
Mm.
And so instead of turning it down,
Turn it up.
People turn it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. So they can get it out.
Yeah. Without attaching to it. And then I teach people how to say it and do it. I got just tools and tools and tools on how to express your feelings without acting them out on somebody.
Wonderful.
And also doing it where you can act it out and feel it and then process it internally. So there's the help in yourself, there's the help in others. It's figuring out who is the one that's most emotionally out of control, because sometimes the parent has left the building.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I teach kids that. I teach the teenagers how to read their parents. Mm-hmm. I said, your mom's trying really hard to not lose it. And when you say those things to her, she goes really young.
So that's the trick right there in the adults, is that they go really young and their child starts showing up. And then you've got 2 children going at each other. Yes?
Yes. And the adult has left the building.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. That's very, very impressive, because that's such a clear message. And the parents are the ones who really need to lead the show, unless you're working with the teens, because the teens don't know what to do. They're just totally lost in all their growth and their hormones and all this silliness that they do, or what we perceive as silliness. And you're, as a parent, your tendency is to back away. So tell me, you were saying to me that teen suicide is one of the biggest challenges that they experience and one of the highest statistics. So how do you know when you've really gotten to that point and you really need help?
Well, and this is the treacherous part. Many times we don't until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the child is more concerned about the parents than anybody else on the planet. And when I ask parents this question, which do you think your child would want? To make you mad and they get their needs met, or for you to say no and they get to be mad? What do you think most parents say, Dr. Shirlene?
Oh, what most parents say, I think it would be the first one.
That which?
Say how you said it again.
So the parents get to be mad,
Mm-hmm.
and the kid gets their way.
That's what I think most parents would say.
That's what most parents say.
Yeah.
What kids want
Is for you to say no.
is for you. It's not that they necessarily want you to say no, but they want to get to be mad when you do say no. And they'd rather you take care of yourself than say, I've given my life to you. Now you owe me.
Yeah.
So they would rather, I can't even tell you how many kids have said to me, Mom, take care of you. I'm taking care of me. Kids will call me and say, will you please tell my parents not to tell me to do my homework so I can do my homework?
Mm. So they don't even give them enough space to follow through on their own thought process and their own goals before they step in and it's like at work with micromanaging. It's the same thing. People do that on the job too.
Exactly. And I do this in corporations. I worked in corporations for over 20 years with the managers as the parent. And you hear managers always say, I feel like I'm raising a bunch of kids. Well, the more you see the employees as kids, the more they will act as kids. Mm-hmm. If you think you're the know-it-all boss, you will create rebellion.
So I want to ask you, you're a child psychologist. Yes. And you've got how many years of experience?
Well, I started as a youth director and was a choir director all through college. And then I worked in corporations for about 20 years. And then the last, since 2001, I got my licensure, and I've been a child and family psychologist and also with businesses. It's the same concepts, the win-win concepts, and the same emotional development rebellion, whether it's with husband, wife, parent, child, boomer, millennial. How many boomers have you heard talking about those stupid millennials?
Yeah, I have heard a lot of that. I don't really understand it, but I've heard a lot of it because I don't see them that way. So why are they in that space? Why do they do that?
So when I've been a rule following, control freak, super perfect 7-year-old my whole life, I've been miserable. You should be miserable too.
Oh,
I pay my dues. You pay your dues. And the millennials are like, yeah, you guys don't make it look too fun. You're divorced 3 times. You're broke. You're not happy. Yeah, I think I'm going to find my own path. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I don't blame them. You know, when they're all about their friends and caring about other people and they're really kind and creative, I've noticed. I mean, yes. I love working with them.
Just like teenagers, when you treat them respectfully and when you honor their brilliance, instead of coming in like I'm old and wise and you should listen to me, then you are going to see a jerk of a millennial.
Yeah.
If you come in like, oh my gosh, I love your energy. Oh, to know what you knew then, if I knew now what you know now, and oh my gosh, you're amazing. They just light up.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be pushed around and everybody wants to have the goodness in them acknowledged, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. Because they just might have a different perspective. They don't have to work as hard as all the boomers did. They're a lot more creative and they can think of ways to work where they don't have to work so hard.
And what was the message that we were taught as kids about bragging?
That's a good question, because I was never allowed to talk about myself. My opinions didn't matter. None of who I was never brought out, because it was be seen and not heard.
Exactly. Exactly. So when the kids do the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
and they come out saying, I'm going to be a multi-billionaire, I'm going to be the next Bill Gates, and the parents are like, get realistic. And it's like we shoot them
Yes.
down.
But it starts in schools, you know that? It comes right from the school. And because they're just these beautiful little beings, and then they go to school and they're regimented, they have to stand in line, now 6 feet apart. They're not able to talk to each other. If they don't get in the room on time, they get red, sad faces. I mean, the schools really need to be revamped.
Ridiculous. It's definitely a broken system. Yes. I did a presentation in a high school one time. There were about 500 people in the audience, and I said, when you hear the word teenager, what do you think of? And I had a whole page of they're rude, they're sarcastic, they're full of themselves, they rebel, and I said, by the way, did I mention, tell me all the bad things you think about teenagers?
That's a good one.
And I've done that over and over again with every audience. And the audiences are starting to get a little bit more enlightened. But for at least 10 years, there was nothing but horrible, horrible things. And I did this with a bunch of kids. I was in Marin, and I had about 30 kids bust in from San Francisco, and they walked in and they had chains and their hats on sideways. And they're like, what's this white chick going to teach me?
With their pants hanging down.
Oh yeah, all that. So I asked the kids, I said, what do you think adults think of teenagers? And they went crazy. We think our list is bad. Oh my gosh. They had 3 pages of we suck.
Wow.
I mean, it's such negative messages that we are giving our children about teenagers. And I said, you know what, guys? They're like, what? I said, I don't buy it. And it was almost like they stood up, they straightened their hats, and I didn't think they'd ever leave. When the presentation was over, we were dancing. It's like, finally, somebody sees me for who I really am, my bright light, that I want to make a difference in the world. These old, tired stories.
Yeah.
They got to go, man. They got to go.
Well, or we lose them because they don't think they have any value here on earth.
Yeah.
And then they just decide to leave. And the parents don't even understand why they took that route.
And they'd rather die than kill their parents.
Well, some.
the vast majority.
Yeah,
like they would rather stay in their rooms, hide under the covers, run away, than stand up to their parents in a loving, there's no way for them to tell you the truth if you can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, and parents don't listen. They're just totally shut down. And when I get them, not the parents, but the kids, I don't do what you do. You have such a special knack for what you do. But a lot of it is spent building them up, because they're so torn down and they're so deep within themselves that if they don't rise out of that pain, then they won't be long for this world, because they don't think that they can add any benefit.
Absolutely. And one of the things that parents don't understand is one look, one withhold, one thought, because they can read your mind.
Yes.
Undoes everything you and I could do. That's why I very rarely do anything one-on-one with kids anymore. 99% of the time I do it with the parent, with the kids. I'll do a few minutes with the kids only to get them confident enough to do it with the parents so that they can stand in their power with their parents. Otherwise, the second I build them up, the parent comes in and they think they're trying to keep them safe.
Yeah.
And what happens is my fears get transferred to my kids. My negative beliefs about me get transferred to my kids.
I see a lot of that, and it all starts with food. If mom doesn't like this food, then the kids don't like this food and won't even try it. It's ridiculous what I'm seeing out there. Now, we're really just about.
I want to say one quick question. One.
Beth, you stalled.
A quick example.
There we go. Oh, I'm losing her. Darn.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
Go ahead. One quick thing. Something's happening with your internet. All right. So thank you so much to Dr. Beth for giving us all that fabulous news. I had one more question I want to ask her, so I'm going to have to bring her back on the show just so I can ask her this question. Maybe I can get her back just for a second. Let's see if we can get her. Are you there? No. All right. So, Dr. Beth, I thank you so much for being with us today. And, I wanted to tell you that she works with kids who are trying to come out as well. And she really knows how to make the parents and the children experience that together. And I'm going to have her back on the show because I'd really love for her to talk about that, because kids get so lost when they're coming out and they don't know where to turn and they're so afraid. And she's got an amazing story where that's concerned. So thank you for joining me today. I'm so grateful that you were here. Please don't forget to click subscribe for me so that you can listen to all this fabulous news we have on Ask the Expert. And all the Ask for the Experts come from our Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. We have a fabulous group. We all work together and we all refer each other and we all have opportunity to really shine in the person that we are and the gift that we've been given to support others. So I'll see you next Friday on Ask the Expert, and I look forward to seeing you in the group if you are an author or a speaker or one who supports them. I will see you next week. Take care and don't forget to subscribe, okay? And also, I'm going to put Dr. Beth's information right down below so that you can reach out to her if you're having trouble with your teens. See you later. Bye-bye.